Hey socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and lifestyle. So if those are the type of videos you enjoy, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full review and wear test of one of Sephora Collection's latest products, which is a skin tint. It's the Sephora Reveal the Real Soft Radiant Skin Tint. And this did come out like a few months ago, y'all. So this formula gives light coverage with natural radiant finish. Now the claims are to be for any skin type, supposed to be long wearing, as well as vegan and fragrance free. So it doesn't have all those sort of harmful ingredients. I was super excited to test this out, not only because Sephora Collection tends to have some really good products, but a few of the socialites rave about this one, y'all, and I might see why. I might see why. So it does retail for $22 at Sephora. If you want to see how I got this look in the wear test of this formula, then keep watching. Okay, socialites, so here's the packaging. It doesn't actually come in a box. It just comes like this with like a little sticker that secures it closed, and you just break the sticker to open it. So it's typical skin tint packaging, in my opinion, which is usually a squeeze tube. It's a twist to open top, and it comes out like this. So when you first try to squeeze it out, if you don't shake it, water will come out, which is actually listed as the first ingredient in the foundation. So you do want to shake well, which the instructions do recommend that you shake well. And the shade that I have is 250 O Deep. So once you shake it well, you squeeze it out, and this was actually the closest to my shade, which I think it works. Serum-like texture that's very easily blendable, and as you can see, it is very sheer. So I have done my skincare and left off with moisturizer. For moisturizer, I did go in with my Clinique Moisture Surge 100 Hour, just because it soaks into the skin really easily and quick. And whenever I do foundation reviews, I prefer not to use a primer because some of us have oily skin, some have dry, and some, like me, is like normal to combo in between. So let's see how this product performs on bare skin, and then I could sort of gauge what primer would be best for my skin, you know? I'm gonna squeeze just a little bit. This is maybe about a nickel size. As you can see, it sort of runs, so it's on the thinner side. And let me go ahead and apply in the areas that I need the most coverage first. It says that this is supposed to give you like that second skin type of look. So for those who like those no makeup looks, this is probably going to be the one for you. So I'm going to use something that's a little bit more on the dense side. This is the number 88 foundation brush, Pro brush from Sephora Collection, which I highly recommend. This is one of their best brushes. And it does say that the formula is buildable, but you're not going to be able to build it up to full. I think you can build it up like sheer all the way up to like medium. So you see that coverage, we can still see the hyperpigmentation through it, but it does seem to be evening out the skin tone well, and I do like the color. And I like the finish of this. It just gives it a very healthy look to the skin. It does blend really easily. So this side has dried down. It's definitely a natural finish, and it's slightly radiant, which are actually the claims of the product. I like the color. And the foundation does come in 20 shades, and I really feel like they have a shade for everybody by looking at the lightest and the darkest shade, and I sort of skimmed in between. I really feel like they may, especially this being sheer. Sometimes with these super sheer products, you can kind of, you know, make it work for a range. Like one shade will work for a little bit of a range. So this is one layer. So I'm gonna go in with one more layer just to see how much coverage we can build it up to. Wow, I feel like I got really decent coverage with this. This sort of reminds me of MAC Face and Body foundation a little bit. This is so pretty on my skin. OMG, comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Have y'all tried this one yet? And the website did say that you can apply with your fingers or a sponge or a brush. I'm using a dense brush because that's what usually gives you the most coverage. And I'm glad I did because I could build this up a lot more than what I thought I'd be able to. Okay, so let's go in with the Sephora Best Skin Ever Glow Concealer. And this is their newest concealer. I do like their Best Skin Ever, the original concealer. I use this as well. This one has full coverage. Like, this is complete full coverage. This one's a little bit more on the sheer side, but I'm gonna use this to highlight. This concealer definitely reminds me of the new MAC Radiant concealer, just with how radiant and just a little glowy it is. I feel like honestly this one works best on the face and not under the eye, but I can work with this a little bit better under eye than I can the MAC one. It's not quite as radiant, but it's almost up there. To me, it could be considered like almost a dupe. So to blend the concealer, I'm gonna use a new favorite, y'all. So Sephora has recently launched a new blending sponge. It's flat on that one side. I like how pointy it is. It's not too firm and it's not too soft. Y'all see how sheer the concealer is and radiant? You see how it sort of leaves that little sheen. So I really feel like this concealer is best for like face and not necessarily under eye, but you can get away with using it under eye. Most definitely, if you're someone who has dark circles, the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer is going to be a lot better for you. But keep in mind, this one does oxidize. So I use the color 35N, which once it oxidizes, it looks really, really close to my skin tone. Gonna apply a little bit more. See if we can get a little bit more coverage. And while this is sitting, I'm gonna take a product that's on my October makeup tray. If you haven't seen that video yet, go ahead and click on that link and check it out. So you can see some of the products that I wanted to be more intentional about reaching for this month. But this is the Milani Cream Bronzer or Cream Contour in the shade Spicy Season. So this is the cream bronzer or cream contour that I'm going to be using for the majority of this month. And I'm going to use the Sephora collection number 56 brush to apply that. The Milani cream bronzer sort of reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer a little bit, except the Milani one might be just a hair easier to blend out. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. The Charlotte Tilbury one is just a little bit drier than this, which has its pros and cons. So back in with our Sephora collection sponge and lightly tapping this, that way I can maintain as much coverage as possible. So this concealer is buildable. It's just not, you just can't build it up to full coverage, but you can get more coverage than the sheer coverage that you guys saw with the first layer. What do y'all think about the skin tint though? So I do like how other products layer on top of the skin tint. So let's take the Sephora collection translucent loose powder. This is their new formula. It's a bit different from the original formula of their loose powder, so I hear, but I never did get a chance to try the original formula. But the girls seem like they liked the original better, but like I said, I hadn't tried it, so I'm not sure. What I will say is I like this more to set highlighted areas than to set all over the face, because I feel like it does sort of lighten your complexion slightly, ensuring that it's smooth on the back of the sponge. And I don't want to use too much of this. This is one that you probably don't really want to do that baking method with this one. And I'm gonna lightly set all over with my Sephora collection micro smooth powder in the shade Mahogany. This one is pretty much like my skin tone. And I'm gonna use a big fluffy brush for this part and just lightly setting all over. Taking another Sephora collection micro smooth powder. This one is just a little bit deeper, in the shade Ebony, and I'm going to use this to bronze the skin a little bit. And for that, I'm going to use my Patrick Ta for face brush. This is for phase 3. I'm going to use this side. One thing about Sephora collection is I can say that they have some really good products. Not all of them are just excellent and become my faves, but I'm always taken back at the amount of products I try from them that I'm like, wow, you know, they just get it right with so many of their products. So I'm gonna take, and this is another good one as well, I'm gonna take the Sephora Colorful Luminizer. It's like a highlighter. This one's in the shade Blinding Bronze. They have this in several different shades, but this one's the one that caught my eye during the last sale. So very beautiful color. So I'm gonna take my Makeup by Ariel brush. This one's the A22 brush, and just apply this to the highest point of my cheekbones, slightly touching the cheek. For blush, I'm going to use Pat McGrath's Paradise Venus, which is a beautiful terracotta shade. I'm going to use an angled Japanesque brush to apply. It's pigmented, so I only want to start off with a tiny bit of product, and I'm going to mesh that on the cheeks, but in between the bronzer and that highlight. See how a little bit goes a long way? So moving on to the eyes, I'm gonna take my Sephora Collection Micro Brow Pencil. This one's one of my favorite brow pencils. I use the shade Soft Charcoal, and usually to clean up my brows, I use the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. This one is the original one I was just telling you guys about. It's in the shade 35N. Like I said, it does oxidize, so once it completely dries down, it's going to look a little bit deeper than the way it goes on your skin. So if you're gonna buy this, just know if you swatch in store, the shade that you think you're gonna be, go one shade deeper, or test it out on your skin, walk around the store, shop for everything else you need, and then check the color. And I just used the tiniest bit of that same Sephora Collection loose powder to set the eyelids, I think. And I'll check, I'll have it in the description box, but I think they reformulated the potted, like the individual Sephora Collection shadows. But this one in the shade Milky Way is gorgeous. Now it's cracked, so I can't open it for you, but it is beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is take that Sephora Collection Ebony, the micro smooth powder that I use for bronzer, and I'm gonna blend this in my crease. And I'm just using a fluffy eyeshadow blending brush. This one's from Morphe, and I'm just blending it in my crease. That way we have a smooth transition for our actual lid shades that we're gonna put down. I'm gonna take my Skin by Kim palette, which is also on my October makeup tray, and I want to use a brown that's just a little bit deeper than the one that I just applied, just a little bit, and I'm going sort of in the middle of that. I don't want to go all the way up to meet it because I don't want it to be like a complete like smoky look, but you see, it's not super smoky, but we have a little bit more depth than what we have on the eye without it. Back to Milky Way, and honestly, I feel like the best way to apply these sort of shadows is with the finger. It's literally like metallic, like foil. Because I have these nails on, I really can't get in here like I want to. So for the edges of it, I'm definitely gonna have to use a brush. And I'm gonna take my Makeup by Ariel A29 brush, which is actually a flatter shader brush, but then it's a little fluffy at the same time. And these brushes help you lay down the color and blend. A little bit of fluffiness it has helps you to blend and not just pat color only. So I'm gonna take a little bit on here, and this is what I'm gonna sort of do the edges of Milky Way. So for eyeliner, I'm gonna take my Sephora Collection 12 Hour pencils, and these are some of the best pencil liners on the market, to be honest, and they're really long lasting. So they have a dark brown called Tiramisu, which is what I'm going to use like the outer third and immediately smudge it out before it dries down completely. And then coconut is almost like a light flesh tone. I'm going to apply this in my waterline and back in with Tiramisu just for the outer third again. And remember, if you want to smudge this, you're going to have to immediately smudge it. And I'm meeting it up with that top tiramisu that I have at the top. For mascara, I'm going in with Love the Lift from Sephora collection, which is a really good mascara, by the way. I like how it separates and then it curls your lashes up at the same time. It's a really good mascara. I was pleasantly surprised by this one. So even on the bottom lashes, it curls it going down. So I almost wish I didn't use this. It's not touching the skin or getting on my skin, but it's like creating that curl down. And I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'd rather have mascara down there, but not like curving down. So that's something to know, but I feel like it still does look good. Now I do want to apply like a little half lash on the corners. So I am going to apply Royal Lashes. So it's just for like the outer half. And if you have smaller eyes, because I know for some people, depending on your eye shape, this can be a full lash for you. So you can always cut them down, but always cut down from the outer edge, not the inner edge. You know, like if you want to go like just here, you're going to have to cut that outer edge off. The Sephora 12-hour setting and mattifying powder. This is one of their newer products as well. It only comes in translucent, and I'm going to use my Makeup by Ariel A11 blending brush just to brighten just the inner corner right here. Not too much, because this can be really bright. Cork lip liner from MAC and Sephora Collection's Plumping Gloss in the shade 08. It's like a mauve shade that has shimmery reflex in it, and these plumping glosses from Sephora collection are really pigmented, so you don't necessarily have, well, not with any gloss, but especially with this one, you don't necessarily need like some sort of lipstick or lip color as a base, because usually the color you see on, you know, the outside of it is the color that it's going to translate to on the lip. Elf Cream Glide Lip Liner, and just overline the top, and it's in the shade Dark Cocoa. Now I know Sephora collection has a setting mist, but I've never tried it before. So if you've tried the Sephora collection setting mist, comment down below, let me know what you think about it. I may add that to the list for the sale, because I'm interested in seeing, you know, what's tea on that. So because we're doing a wear test, I'm not going to set it with anything. I want to see how it lasts on its own. So it's now 3 o'clock on the dot, so I'm going to wear my makeup for the next few hours. We'll check back in and see how it stood up. Okay, y'all, so I'm back and it is now 8:20, so it's a little bit over 5 hours later, and this is what we have. So as you can see, there is a little bit of shine, but most definitely it's not anything crazy or over the top to be over 5 hours later. And especially the fact that I don't have any primer or anything underneath to help the longevity, or even a setting spray that helps with longevity. So I'm knowing for a fact if I would have put one of my go-to primers on, or at least set it with one of my long wearing setting sprays, then I would have probably gotten at least 8 hours, 7-8 hours, if not longer, without seeing the shine that I see now. So it hasn't really settled in fine lines or anything like that. I don't feel like my pores are overly emphasized, and oxidation, I don't think it's oxidized much. I feel like when I went into the restroom, it looked a little warmer than normal, but my skin can be tricky when it comes to being warm, but I don't feel like it like super oxidized or anything like that. So comment down below, let me know what you guys think about the color. I honestly feel like any skin type can get away with using this product. It would just be a matter of, will this provide the amount of coverage that you need? So I'm excited to use this again. I think it's really pretty. So I'm going to try it again using number one, a primer, and I want to try out the Charlotte Tilbury Stick Foundation, which is super sheer. It just almost gives kind of like a golden glow. So I want to try using that underneath and see, you know, what kind of look we get from it, because I think it's really pretty. It's been a while since I've been this excited about a complexion product. So I've been wanting to try out this combo that was actually on my October makeup tray, which is the Lip Bar, which is a liquid lipstick in the shade Boss Lady. I want to use this as a liner. And then a Sephora collection. This is one of the new formulas, so I hadn't tried the new formulas yet. So this is no, this is not the one I want. $129. So I wanted to try these two and see what it gives us before I get out of here. Look how deep that is. Isn't that pretty? I usually use the Sephora collection liquid lipstick in 94 to line, and this one is actually deeper, a deeper shade of red than 94. Okay, so let's pop 129 from Sephora collection in the middle. It's like a candy, like a warm candy like scent to it. The original formula didn't smell like this. OMG. And it dries down well too, y'all. So I'm getting ready to take this off and getting ready for bed. So we'll have to test it another day to see how long wearing it is, because the original formula was pretty long wearing for me anyways. This is beautiful. I might like this combo even better than my go-to, which is 94 and 1 from Sephora collection. What is your go-to red combo? For those who wear red lips, what's your go-to red for the liner and for the actual lip color? Do you do like a lip liner and like a liquid lipstick, or like a bullet lipstick and, you know, like a liquid lipstick for liner? What is your red combo? But this is nice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love, 'cause too fresh with the scars. Well, I don't have the answers.